welcome. My name is Chris from ChristopherHole.com, and welcome to this week's whiteboard, where we are discussing the liver with regards to digestion and absorption. We're going to answer two basic questions. What is the liver and what does the liver do? With regards to what the liver does, we are going to mention other tasks that the liver does within the body, but our main focus is going to be digestion and absorption. Before we get into that, just quickly mention my social media platforms. You've got Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. On Twitter, it's at Christopher Hole. On Facebook, it's Christopher Hole Training, and Instagram is Christopher Hole. Alternatively, please do come to the website. Go to christopherhole.com/workshops. You can find out more about the workshops I run, in particular the health coaching program. If you'd like to attend, it'd be great to have you there. I'll be able to meet you face to face and answer any questions that you may have more specifically as well. So back to today's topic, liver, with regards to digestion and absorption. So first of all, what is the liver? Well, it's a gland, but it's known as an organ. It's located in the upper right portion of the abdomen. So if you look at the diagram here, this is our liver here. You can see just above the stomach, just below the heart and the lungs, on the right side of your body, but left side as you look at it on the screen. So with regards to what's happening within it with regards to the food and digestion is the food will come down the esophagus, go into the stomach, go down into the small intestines, and then from here goes into the portal vein up to the liver, where a few things happen, which is what we're going to talk about next. It then gets moved up to the heart, and then the heart, it goes into general circulation. So that's basically the journey of the nutrients that you take in. Obviously, the more nutrients you take in, the better for your body, because it's getting moved through that system and then into general circulation, where it can then be used within the body. Now, before it gets into general circulation, the liver has a few jobs to do, and the ones we're going to talk about is bile production and detoxification. But from a more general perspective, or from a wide-ranging perspective, the liver does a few more tasks. One is glycogen storage, another one is protein synthesis. You've got red blood cell destruction and hormone production, along with the bile production and the detoxification, which is what we're going to talk about next. Now, protein synthesis is related to digestion and absorption quite loosely, but I'll leave that for another video when we talk about that. So with regards to bile production, bile is composed of water, salts, bilirubin, cholesterol, and organic salts. It gets most of these materials from the blood and then constructs these within the liver. And then what the liver is then able to do is then release it into the duodenum, which is the you can't really see it, but it's basically the first sort of 90 centimeters to 100 centimeters, I think, of the small intestine. So it releases it into there. And what it's doing is it's playing an important role in absorbing fats and vitamins A, D, E, and K, which are the fat-soluble vitamins. So if your liver isn't producing enough bile, then it's not going to be absorbing the fats and the vitamins as well. So not only do we have to be taking them in, our body has to be working well enough to be able to then use the food that we're taking in. It's an alkaline substance, so it neutralises any stomach acid. So if you've ever wondered, yes, the stomach does release hydrochloric acid, but if it was the only substance within the stomach, then it would quite quickly burn through it because it's quite a strong acid. So it has this bile that is an alkaline substance to neutralize those stomach acids. It's also antibacterial. So if you're taking in any materials that can have an adverse effect on the body, your body's bile will do its best to sort of minimize the effects of those bacterial or potential infections, if you will. The next one is detoxifications. So as long with the kidneys, the liver is also detoxing the foods that you take in. So it's removing any matter generated by nutrient breakdown, medicine, cigarettes, and environmental toxins. So with regards to that, in a more general sense, If there are any materials that your body doesn't necessarily want in its system, your body will detox that out of the system before it gets into general circulation. So as I mentioned, it goes down through the esophagus, stomach, small intestines, then up into the liver. It's at this point that your body then starts to remove material from the food that you've taken in, and then it can start removing it from the body. So this is where, certainly with alcohol, your body is removing the alcohol through the liver before it can get into general circulation. The reason people get drunk and then obviously have hangovers is because your liver can't take away as much alcohol as is coming in, if that makes sense. And that's the same with the food that you take in. If you're putting in more toxicity into your system, the liver won't be able to take it out as quickly as you're putting it in. Therefore, it will get into your general circulation, and then you'll start to have adverse effects and ill health and conditions and so on and so forth off the back of that. So by putting in less garbage gets into your system, if that makes sense. There's nothing wrong with putting poor foods into your body. It's just the amount that goes in, because the liver isn't able to remove it as quickly as it's going in. If you're only putting in a little bit of not so good food once a day or 2 times a week or whatever it might be, your liver will quite happily manage that for you. Yes, some might get through the system, but then your body has other mechanisms to cope with it. So the general idea to keep your liver healthy and your body absorbing good quality nutrients to keep it healthy is to not put the poor nutrients in the first place. These aren't here as your as your defense mechanism. It's there just to remove any poor nutrition that you might put in on the odd occasion, because a lot of people will just eat poor foods and drink poor fluids and just expect their body to take care of it and their body to be fine off the back of it. Unfortunately, it doesn't quite work like that. It's very much, these will cope with so much, but then your body will just say, I'm sorry, you've put too much in my system, now I'm going to make you ill, now I'm going to give you this cold or flu or infection or whatever it might be. And we have to understand our body is working slightly differently. It will work, and it will continue to work in your favor for as long as it can, if you put the right foods in. So it's very much sort of not putting a lot of poor foods in a lot of the time, eating better quality foods so your liver doesn't get overtaxed, so then ill health doesn't happen as much or on as a regular occasion, or even you're just not as susceptible to it. So that's in some ways what the liver is and what it's doing. I've talked to you about the passage of food. I've done that in a previous whiteboard where I've talked about the digestive system. So if you watch that one, then watch this one. This is the next sort of stage on from that. In the last one, I talked about the stomach, the intestines, and the large intestine. Now I'm talking about the liver, which is the next step on before general circulation around the body. So hopefully it's been of use. Hopefully you've gained something from it. You've gained an understanding with regards to your anatomy, and also with regards to how nutrition works with your anatomy. So hopefully it's been of use. Hopefully you've gained some information. So many thanks for watching. My name is Chris from ChristopherHole.com. I'll speak to you in a future video.